Hey guys, welcome back to another Shop My Stash everyday makeup video. This is my everyday makeup drawer from the month of May. These were the products that I was using halfway through the month. I did switch things up on how my drawer is looking, which if you watch these regularly, you may have noticed, especially over here on the right side. So instead of all the palettes I still need to test being up here in the corner, I now have all of the eyeshadows that I'm trying to pan that are in various projects. I've noticed that I need to better focus my attention on just a handful of palettes. So on the top, I have these three that are up on top of my dresser here. These are the three palettes I'm focusing on panning right this second. As soon as I pan the shade that I'm working on in whichever palette, I will pull another one from here, whichever one I want to focus on next. And that has been working out much better for me. Instead of having all of these up on the top, staring at them all at the same time, I was feeling really overwhelmed. So this is what's working best for me. Here's just a quick look at the palettes that are in here. If you watch my panning videos, then these are all pretty familiar to you. I'm not going to really go into those, but these are the palettes that have shades in them I'm trying to pan. It's like one shade out of each palette. I'm not trying to pan that palette on all of these. This was a new addition last time. These are all of my eye primer type of products and lash glue, glitter glue, that sort of thing. It just didn't make sense to rotate through them, so I just put them here. These are the lip products that I used this past month. I'm going to quickly talk about these now and we'll do some swatches. So this is the Buxom Gloss in White Russian. I did not pull this in my Shop My Stash, but each month I say it's not that serious. If I feel like I want to use something, my makeup collection is just over there. I can go reach in and grab something, and that is what happened here with this gloss. It's just a really pale nude color. This is the Too Faced Melted Matte in Queen Bee. This formula is not my favorite. I find it very drying. Not so drying I never want to wear them, but just I wouldn't want to purchase any more shades of this particular formula. Queen Bee is a very cool toned mauvey purple shade. The Tarte Tarteist Lip Paint in Home Slice. This is a burnt peach color, and every time I wear it, I'm super pleased with it, yet I never pull for it that often, which is strange, but I really do love this color. I have the Maybelline Lust for Blush lipstick. I wanted to pull this out and get some use out of it this spring. This is a cool toned pink. The Maybelline matte formula was one of my favorites, but unfortunately they're not cruelty free. I use Lumiere by ColourPop. This is another, I'll swatch it next to Queen Bee. Another like cool toned mauvey type of color. Actually, it looks like it's a hybrid between Queen Bee and Lust for Blush here. I hope you can see. I know the lighting is a little bit strange. And lastly in here I have the ColourPop Ultra Glossy Lip in Fairy Floss. This is a very similar shade to White Russian, but a little more opaque, as you can see right there. It's the same like neutral or like nudie pink type of color. This one's ColourPop and this one here is the Buxom shade. Not much color to them, but I hope you can see the difference there. So all of these products will be going back into my drawer. Beside that, I just have the dry shampoo I'm currently using. This is from Cake Beauty. And it's made in Canada and cruelty free. And then the deodorant I'm using now is this Tom's one, which is also cruelty free. In the back here, these are all of the products that I have been testing. So first off, I have the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist, the Smashbox Coconut Primer Water, the Milk Makeup Kush Lip Balm, and the Jouer High Coverage Concealer. These products are going to stay in here because these were from my Sephora VIB sale haul, which I will be following up later this month, but I want to test them out even more. So these products, to the left here I will be talking about and taking out of here. This is the Cover FX Perfector Face Palette. This came in BoxyCharm a few months ago and I was really excited to get some use out of it. You have 3 highlighters across the top, a contour, a finishing powder, and a blush. I love the bronzer and the blush shades here. The finishing powder is very glittery. I'm going to try it again in the winter, but right now where my skin is so oily, it just makes me look like a disco ball. Both of these highlighters are much too deep for me without a tan. I don't think this one on the right will ever be a good shade for me, even though this is the Fair Light colorway palette. That's still much too deep for me. Right now I have to mix the brightener shade with the first highlight in order to get it to work. So that was pretty disappointing to me. I guess it does say light medium and I do have a fair skin tone, so maybe that's why, but I really hoped that this highlight would work for me, and I will try it again in the summer once I have a tan. But so far I'm really liking the formula on this one. I was testing out the Hourglass Veil setting powder. We now have little hands here helping. I've been testing this one out and he's showing you guys. Show them. Wow, a Morphe concealer that mommy uses on her eyes. Gentle. You like that one? Good job showing them. Thank you. The Hourglass setting powder, I've been testing this out and I really do like it. I don't love it for setting under my eyes, but I do like it. Okay, honey. And that's the mascara mommy's using, the It Cosmetics Superhero, right? We're not quite there yet. I'm not obsessed with it for setting under my eyes, but I really do like it for setting my face and will continue to play with this, but for now it's going to go back into my drawer. I've been obsessed with this ColourPop No Filter foundation recently. I was really hesitant to try it. It's been sitting in my drawer since September and I never reached for it because I was scared I was going to hate it after all of the mediocre reviews I saw, but this looks beautiful on my skin. My oils do come through halfway through the day, but it doesn't break apart. It's easy enough to blot away and repowder and it looks great. So I'm super happy with this purchase. You guys know I have a problem choosing favorites, but this Fenty Beauty primer may be a new favorite for me. This is the Soft Matte Pro Filter Instant Retouch Primer. It is slightly mattifying, although not completely mattifying, and it's smoothing on the skin. It feels really nice going on. I used quite a bit of it. I'm not sure if you can really see there. This is just a sample size, but I have been absolutely loving this, but I've tested it, I know I love it, and I'm ready to put it back in my drawer. Down here in the eye drawer, this Pretty Vulgar ink gel liner has been in here for like 3 or more months because I wasn't using it, but I used it quite a few times this month, so I'm ready to put it back. I really do love this gel liner. It is very black, it stays, and I find it really easy to apply. The e.l.f. brow kit is in a project pan, so that is staying. The e.l.f. clear brow gel is the only brow gel I have open currently, so I just want to finish that off. Pixi dual-ended eyeliner. It has a nude shade and like a champagne shade on the other side. Put it back, please. This is the only nude liner I have in my collection currently, so it's going to stay in here as well. Oh, I found something over in my drawer that wasn't supposed to be over there. Wyatt must have put it there. This is the Maybelline Lash Sensational Waterproof. This has been open for a very long time, since my wedding, since October. I'm going to use it one more month because I haven't been using it since my wedding, really. Except for funerals, things like that. I just want to get some more use out of it this month and then call it done. Maybelline's not cruelty free. I've been really disliking this It Cosmetics Superhero mascara. I'm finding it very, very sticky. I don't like the way my lashes look. I'm going to use it for one more month. That puts me at about the 3-month mark and I'll be ready to call it done. I have been using it every day and kind of suffering through. I just really don't like it. Can you see how gunked up the wand is there? I don't like the way it makes my lashes look, but for the sake of finishing it off, I'm going to keep it in this month. And then the other two eyeliners I had in here were the ColourPop Cream Gel Liner in Mr. Bing. This is a really warm brown shade in collaboration with Kathleen Lights. Where can I put this? Can you see? I really did like this and I used it a couple of times. The Ciate Wonder Wand Gel Kohl Liner, I actually only used one time, so I'm going to keep this in. It has this weird brush thing on one side and then the, you know, black pencil on the others. Because I only used this one time, I'm going to keep it in my drawer and use it again. Here is where I keep my base products. I have the Too Faced Hangover RX Primer. This is in a project, so that is going to stay. My LA Girl Pro Coverage White Mixer. I didn't use that at all last month actually, now that I'm getting a little bit of color back in my skin, but it just stays in here in case I need it. Both of these concealers are currently in projects, the Urban Decay Naked Skin and the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind, so those are staying. And the other foundation I was using, I should say, because I did have the ColourPop one, was the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless. I had two shades. 110 is my Dead of Winter shade, 120 is my summer shade, and right now I'm somewhere in the middle, so I was mixing these. I really don't love this foundation, but I will use it up eventually. It doesn't hold up that well on my oily skin. It breaks apart and it settles into all my pores. Even if I have a primer underneath, it's just not a favorite. But I've used a good amount of both of these, about a third or more. So I'd rather just finish them off than throw them in the garbage. This IBY contour palette is in a project pan as well. You guys know I'm in the middle of a lot of project pans. And then here is where I have my cheek products. I try and keep like 3 of each, so 3 blushes, 3 bronzers, and then I only have 2 highlights in this compartment, but there was a lot of highlights in the Cover FX palette, so that's why I didn't pull out any more. These 2 blushes are in project pans. We have the Model Co blush in Peach Bellini and the Trastique blush in Bora Bora Coral. And then I also had the MAC blush in Melba. This is a gorgeous matte peach shade and I did use this quite a lot. The Body Shop Honey Bronzer is in a project pan. I did not use my Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer very much at all. I think I only used it one time, so I think I'm going to keep this in actually. And actually same with the Tarte bronzer. I really wasn't using these. I was using the Body Shop one as well as the bronzer in the Cover FX palette, and occasionally the bronzing shades in this contour kit as well. So I'm actually going to keep in both of those and we'll still pull one new one. Same kind of goes for highlights. I really was focusing on my project panning items. I used this one time, so I'm going to keep it in. It's the liquid version of Becca Opal, and then this is the pressed version of Becca Opal, and it's just too deep for me still. So I'm going to pull in a lighter highlight to use this month instead of being constantly disappointed that all of my highlighters are too dark. But that is everything that I have in my everyday makeup drawer. As you know, I have lip products up top. I'm going to skip over those this time and just show you what I pull out for the month of June. So let's hop over into my makeup collection. Alright, you guys haven't seen these drawers in a while because you know I'm panning way too many eyeshadows. This is where I keep my liquid cream shadows, single shadows, pigments, all of that, as well as my more colorful palettes. And I've just been craving pulling this back out again. I really want to use it. I'm not panning any of the shades in here, so it's probably super unwise, but I want to. So that's what I'm going to do. This is the one and only palette I'm going to be pulling into this Shop My Stash. You guys saw I had a ton already in my drawer, but I don't know. I love this palette so much for the summertime, so I'd love to get a ton of use out of it for June, July, and August. So I'm pulling this one in. Something I didn't mention in the earlier part of this video was this is the setting spray I was using besides the Morphe one I'm still testing out. This is the Cover FX Illuminating Setting Spray, and this is Glitter City. I really don't like this. I'm still considering decluttering it, or if I can suffer through to use it all the way up, but for now I need to put it back and just focus on the Morphe one. If I get bored of the Morphe one, I'll pull out my Urban Decay all-nighter, but I need a break from this. I'm going to start with foundations, and maybe that will help me decide on other products I want to pull in. These two that are sitting here are ones that I haven't used yet since like through my rotation. This Estee Lauder Double Wear is my like middle of the summer shade, so I'm going to pull in this shade of Estee Lauder Double Wear even though I used it not that long ago. This is in 1N1. This is my favorite foundation of all time. I'm really sad that once it's gone, I won't be repurchasing it because it is not cruelty free, but I'm using this time to try and find dupes. I thought the Peach Perfect would be, but it's not quite Double Wear. And then in saying that, because I haven't used this one yet through my rotation, I'm going to pull in this Rimmel Stay Matte. It's in 103 True Ivory, which is going to be too dark for me, but I do have that white foundation mixer. I am not going to pull a new concealer because you saw I have two in Project Pans, plus the Jouer one, which I'm still testing for my roundup video or my haul follow-up, whatever you want to call it. For powder, do I want to pull anything in? I feel like I haven't used this in quite a while. This is my L'Oreal True Match in W2. As you can see, I have major pan on this powder, but I think I would like to pull this in this month. Alright, looking at my primers back here, I think I want to use my Smashbox Pore Minimizing Primer again. I really love the combination of this with the Too Faced Hangover RX, which I'm panning right now, so this is the one that I'm going to pull. This is my face palette drawer, and I rotate through my products, as I'm sure you have been able to see. Tata, please. So up next is this Makeup Geek highlight palette, but I already know I can only use this in July and August, so this is going to remain right here. This is bronzer, which I already have a lot. I'm going to pull in this Pure Bronze and Brighten palette, actually. I cannot use this bronzer. It looks like a literal bronze eyeshadow, so I'm not going to put that on my cheeks, but I love this highlighter especially, and the blush is really beautiful with a light hand on my fair skin as well. So I'm going to pull in this face palette. Does it look pretty? Do you want a color on you? Which color? Pink? Wow. So beautiful. Okay, here we are in single blush, bronzer, and highlighters. As you guys know, I keep skipping NARS Orgasm because it's too similar to the blush that I'm panning. So after that, we have this Tarte blush. This is in the shade Party. This is a birthday gift in 2017, I believe. And it's just a neutrally pink shade, so this will pair really nicely with the other blushes I currently have in there. Up next for bronzers is actually a liquid bronzer. This is the Temp 2 Shimmer bronzer, and I really love the way this looks on the skin when I remember to use it. So I'm excited to pull this in, and I love a shimmery bronzer in the summer months. So we'll see how much use I can get out of this one. And then, as I mentioned, I want a lighter highlight to use. These two are both liquids, and I still have the Becca Opal in there. This Artist Couture in the shade Illuminati is going to be a bit too deep. It's a very yellow gold shade. So I think I'm going to pull in Smoke and Whistles by ColourPop. This is one of the lighter shades. I can give a swatch for you. It's quite subtle compared to other highlights of theirs that I have tried, but it's going to be perfect to mix with the other highlighters I currently have in there. This drawer is looking a little different from the last time you guys have seen it as well. I rearranged a few of my containers, so I now have all of my lip liners in here instead of on top of my dresser. All of my pencil or like crayon type things, ColourPop lippy sticks that are a bit too skinny to stand up in here. And then back here, I know you're out of focus right this second, is lip treatments, lip scrubs, that sort of thing. And then in this black container are my fall colors. Sticking with the rotating theme, I'm going to pull in this Rimmel Kate lipstick in the shade 14. And it is just a kind of brownie nude shade. I can swatch this. There's a swatch of that one. And then also back here, my camera keeps moving. You guys can't really see it, but this one is up next. This is the NYX matte lipstick in the shade Tea Rose. This is not my favorite lipstick formula. I much prefer the Maybelline mattes, but NYX is cruelty free and Maybelline is not. So that is Tea Rose. And those are the two lipsticks I'm going to pull from this drawer. Here are lip glosses and liquid lipsticks. These are my more colored liquid lipsticks. Basically something that's not nude goes in here. And then these are all of my nudes. So I actually have two bold colors over there and a neutral for liquid lipstick. So I'm going to pull one more nude color, and I want to pull in this Hank and Henry in Petal Pusher. Callie Fab recently talked about this in one of her videos, and it just reminded me that, oh yes, I own that and I would like to use it again soon. And lucky for me, it was close up in my rotation. That is what that color looks like. It's definitely like a deeper pink, and actually upon reflection it should be in the more colored part, but you know what, I'm going to pull it anyways. And then maybe because it is a bit more colored, I'll pull in another like more traditional nude. So this is Stila Caramello. I absolutely love this. It is a cool toned nude, and I was totally surprised by this. This came in a Sephora favorites, and I thought for sure I would hate it, but I'm actually obsessed with it, and I'm glad it was up next. Now moving over to gloss. I have not been rotating through my glosses very well. I still have 3 over there, and 2 of them are actually pretty colorful. So I want to pull in something that's a bit more neutral. What's this? That's still like, it's pretty pink. I'm actually going to pull in this Victoria's Secret shiny lip gloss in Strawberry Fizz. On the lips, it's pretty clear with a lot of shimmer in it, so it just adds a little something something to your lips, if you know what I mean. Again, this drawer is looking a little different. I still have my like not black eyeliners. I moved my brow pencils up here, and then lashes are way back there, which I just pull them in as I want to, basically. I'm going to, do I want to pull this in actually? Yeah, I'm going to pull in this Butter London Stroke of Wow liquid liner. This is one of those weird like roll-on pizza cutter situations. I'm trying to get some use out of these. I have a colored liner in mind, which I will show you guys in a second, so I'm going to skip this part. And then for brows, I have the e.l.f. brow product in there, but I think I want a pencil as well. I'm going to pull in the AVH Brow Definer in dark brown to go along with that. Alright, you may have noticed there was quite a few products missing out of my makeup collection. That's because I pulled out everything that was untouched and put it in this basket. That was palettes, even like replacement backup type products like the Brow Wiz or my Naked Skin Concealer. Everything is in here. The products that are up front and center are or have been in my collection the longest untouched, and then the new products go towards the back. In terms of colored liner, I was thinking of this Bodyography Emerald liner and how I really wanted to play with this. It looks so beautiful. This Pure Midnight Masquerade face palette is the oldest palette that has gone untouched in my collection. It has like 2 blushes, this bronzy type of color, and a highlight, as well as 6 eyeshadows, this brown one being the only matte. I haven't heard the greatest things about this, and also my magnets are backwards in here. They like repel each other instead of magnetizing this palette closed, so that's interesting. So this is the palette I'm going to pull in to test this month. And then I think I want to pull in 2 more products. I would love to finally try this First Aid Beauty Coconut Skin Smoothie Priming Moisturizer. That is a mouthful. I know it's pretty much the same as my Too Faced Hangover RX primer that I'm trying to pan, but I'd like to use this at least a handful of times and get my opinion on it and then be able to put it in my drawer. And I think I want to pull a lip product out of here as well. This is the Tarte Tartist Shimmering Lip Paint in the shade Insta Famous. We got this in BoxyCharm. I should say I got this in BoxyCharm quite a while ago and still haven't used it. It is full of a whole bunch of different colors of glitter, so I was pretty unsure about this. But as a lip topper, I think it's going to be really beautiful. I see pink and blue in there, and I just think it's going to be really fun to play with if I can just put it in my line of sight and remind myself to reach for it. Okay, up here on the top of my dresser, this is my little acrylic container here that has all of the lip products. These ones in the left row are the ones that I'm panning, and then over in the other 3, I should say columns, left column are panning products, and the other 3 columns are ones that we've pulled. Some of these were pulled last month I didn't get a chance to use. I do want to ask you guys how you feel about these are products. Well, these 2 I decluttered and I'm trying to pass along to somebody else, but these 3 products right here I received in BoxyCharm, and they are not cruelty free. Nobody seems to want them in my life, so how do we feel about me using them since I already have them? I don't know how I feel about it yet. I'm kind of leaning towards just use them instead of having them just sit or me throw them in the garbage. And the women's shelter around me doesn't really want glitter type of products. So this is a glittery liquid eyeshadow and a holographic lip gloss. And then a Glam Glow cleanser. They might want this, but in all honesty, I'm not going to drive half an hour, 45 minutes to drop off one single cleanser. And like I said, they didn't want these products. So do I add them into my collection and add them into my non-cruelty free section? What do you think? These ones aren't included. I just decluttered those ones, but these 3. Anyways, over here are the palettes I was telling you about at the beginning that are current palettes I'm trying to pan. Now down in my everyday makeup drawer down here, we have the palettes with the addition of the BH Cosmetics Weekend Festival palette and all of the other palettes I have in here that need to be panned. Oh, it seems Wyatt has rearranged some of these. This is where I put the lip products as I use them. My eye products, base products, products I'm testing. So again, these ones are from my Sephora haul. And then these are the 4 items we pulled out of that basket just a minute ago. We have powder products here, and then these are all of the cheek products that I pulled. I feel like I have a lot going on in here this month because I kept these two products in, but I really only use them like once or twice each. And they deserve more love than that before going to the back of my drawer. So I have 4 bronzers, 3 highlighters, 3 blushes, and then plus a blush and a highlight in this face palette as well. And then don't forget we have a highlighter, 2 blushes, and a bronzy blush situation here in this palette as well that I need to test. So I have a lot going on this month. I'm curious to see how much I'll be able to get through. In terms of what my focus is, are project pan items, and then getting a solid opinion on the products that I'm testing here. I like to use them multiple times over the weeks to make sure that they don't break me out, that they work for my skin, that sort of thing, and be able to give you guys a thorough review. Keep an eye out for my haul follow-up later this month, but that is everything for this video. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up so that I know. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!